Can we just say something about Beyonce and the Super Bowl last year? Yeah, I was at a friend's and watching not even the kiddie halftime show of the Puppy Bowl, but somehow his kids ended up turning it into just watching cat videos in the same loop of a keyboard cat. I don't get it, but I like cats. But anyhow, let's get to Beyonce and a type of cat, the Black Panthers. And I was not intending that connection early on. I feel like such a schmuck. I don't, but people should feel like such schmucks just taking this Beyonce thing. Like, Beyonce's so beautiful. She's not. I mean, I'm not into black women, and most white people are not. Let's just get that out there first of all. Yeah, she has some catchy songs. Okay, let's give her that. Yeah, she can sing. But making her like into this superstar, like she's divine. And by the way, she's old. She's not a young lady. Women are at their most attractive in their late teens and early 20s. Let's not lie about that. But everyone has to pretend that Beyonce is this incredible star everyone's attracted to. And I'm sick of it. And frankly, she's a racist. And she does the racist things. And it's pathetic, almost like a dhimmi in a Muslim country, if you don't come out and say it. What am I supposed to go along with this? Like Beyonce, here's the deal. And thank you for Doug Giles, who's kind of a clickbaiter, but I'm just going to basically read what he just said. Said Beyonce's Super Bowl BS. Singer performs Black Lives Matter racist rallying cry. And we know Black Lives Matter is funded, first of all, by the liberal Jew, communist Jew of Jewish, so-called liberal of Jewish descent, George Soros. Black Lives Matter is the tools of George Soros. That's who's funding it. And we know Michael Brown was a lie. Everything that they said there. We know all these things are pretty much the most prominent ones always tend to have evidence which disproves the original thing. With that in mind, look at these pictures up here. And here's what Doug Giles said. If you watched the Super Bowl last night, along with the halftime show, by the way, Doug, you may want to edit this. You have, along with halftime has two words, but that's clickbaiting for you. I don't respect it much, but I'm going to use it for my own purposes. Along with the halftime show, you know that Beyonce took it as an opportunity to do some advertising for the Black Panther Party. And frankly, I don't think she's worth giving her just one name like she's something special. I'm going to say Beyonce Knowles. Beyonce Knowles issued a strong political statement with her halftime show at Super Bowl 50 on Sunday with backing dancers dressed as members of armed rights group, the Black Panthers. And by the way, Doug, no, it's not a rights group, but you're just quoting someone else there. The superstar, I don't think so, brought the dancers on her new single, Formation, which is being widely touted as a rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement. And by the way, let's just keep this in mind. Yesterday's game was hyped as Cam Newton is such a proud black man, even though the last three NFC representatives in the Super Bowl had a black quarterback, but Russell Wilson was well behaved, so I guess we can't consider him black, and Colin Kaepernick was, I guess, technically half black, raised by a white family, adopted. But such an authentic black man. You heard about that Huffington Post story about how the Panthers are the most proudly black or whatever team in history, unapologetically black. It was by some guy, Fernandez, who wrote it, Eric Fernandez. And it's awesome. He put that in. And by the way, first of all, if you're going to even go there, the most unapologetically black team is the Bengals. I mean, do I have to even editorialize about what went on at the end of the game with the Bengals and the Panthers? It was a lot more than, end zone dancing, which is pretty mild compared to T.O.'s. Cam Newton does pretty much the same thing every time, his signature thing. It's not that out there. I mean, compared to a T.O. or T.O.'s lame imitator Chad Johnson back in the day, not that big a deal, as opposed to the Bengals, Vontaze Burfict and Pac-Man Jones, were so unrestrained, if that's the word that is necessary, that they basically cost their team a chance to advance in the playoffs in order to just send a message to the Steelers player Antonio Brown and the Steelers coach Joey Porter. But, so anyhow, that didn't work. The Panthers and, Cam Newton was beaten really by the black guys on Denver's defense, but he lost. Peyton Manning won. Not that Peyton Manning beat Cam Newton. But anyhow, I had to editorialize there. Let me return to the story. I can't remember Jay-Z's actual name. Otherwise, I would call her Mrs. whatever that is. But reading on, the superstar brought the dancers on for her new single, Formation, which is being widely touted as a rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement. At one point during the song, the supporting performers formed an X on the field. thought to reference black rights campaigner Malcolm X, Malcolm X, or Malcolm Little, and then raised their arms in the air in a gesture referencing the Black Power salute by Tommy Smith and John Carlos at the Australian Olympics. This is, by the way, from the Daily Mail. That's where Doug Giles is lifting it from. Following the show, several of the dancers were pictured giving the same salute around a piece of paper that reads, "Justice for Mario Woods, a black man shot dead by police in San Francisco last December." Of course, the game wasn't in San Francisco, it was in Santa Clara. And let's keep in mind, San Francisco is so left-wing. It's so liberal, So, yeah, complain all you want about San Francisco, but we know that. That's the town where Barbara Boxer... Is Barbara Boxer from there? No. Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi are from. So, you know what, San Francisco, I love when they eat their own. But whatever. Afterwards, Beyonce said she, quote, wanted people to have love for themselves. Well, you know what? And by the way, how many people got murdered by Islam in Africa in the last week? I thought so, Beyonce. And then it has a couple pictures, which I'll share with you here. So anyhow, wanted to get that out there. Whatever. Don't be a tool and act like this is like great culture that you're a part of. This is an FU to you, white people who are the bulk of the NFL audience. Keep that in mind. And going along with this like it's all good makes you a tool.